Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and welcome back to the Silent Hill 2 commentary. And now James is, well, sorrowful. He couldn't do anything, and now Laura's gone. Everything's going away now. Mary, what should I do? Like the saint. Mary had a little lamb. Little lamb. Little lamb. Mary had a little lamb. And his name was James. But in any case, now we're pretty much back in the town. Our main mission objective, as you could see in the last part, was pretty much to find the Letta Wrench, which, as I mentioned before, ain't an Italian restaurant. It's, basically, well, a plot-related item which, again, leads us to Rosewater Park, which then leads us to the Silent Hill Historical Society, and, well, that's pretty much where our next destination lays, because there's a certain facility deep underground that has been abandoned by time, and, well, I'll probably have a lot more interesting things to say there. In the meantime, it's just simply as it simply does. We also have nurses walking the street, which, again, as I mentioned before in the Brookhaven, it was in the earlier segment of the Brookhaven Hospital. Like, for some fucking reason, Silent Hill 2 has a really weird problem with just sort of shoving enemies anywhere because, fuck it. I mean, this isn't really the worst example. There was, like, earlier versions of the game where apparently Pyramid Head was gonna be... And I think there's even gameplay videos of it as well, like, of Pyramid Head walking the streets and, like, going after James, so... yeah. Let's, take that for what you will. And, also, given the stabbing motion that James can make with the, steel pipe, notice how Pyramid Head now also has a spear, which he used to skewer Maria. Very interesting. But, I mean, all that aside, it's really just, again, commutes and, well, basically just coming across a couple of monsters here, including one underutilized monster that we don't really see very much of, the Mandarin. It's pretty much like an inverse version. I literally think they, like, took this monster and, like, inversed it for Silent Hill 3 to create the closes. Like, literally the only thing that they have here is that they can try and stab James, like, from beneath the grates there, using, like, some little talents that they have, but even then, if you're fast and just run across like that, you'll pretty much avoid them anyway, so they're not really that much of a threat, so I really don't know what to say. I might have brought this up in Silent Hill 3 as well, but again, that attack was also used as a means for them to climb up buildings as well, in an earlier version of Silent Hill 3, so yeah, kinda weird that they never really used that sort of mechanic ever again, but hey. This is also another opportunity where you can return to Neely's Bar, which I believe we may be doing here, but I mean, if not, then, fuck it. Again, like, I mean, it's really, and, well, it is something that you should probably get around to doing if you want to get the in-water ending, but there is pretty much a second message saying that, James, if you ever want to see Mary again, you should just die, but you may be going to a different place than Mary, James. And again, something I didn't really notice up until recently is that there was, like, again, the letters are highlighted, so, like, I mean, you have some capitalized letters that are... I'm trying to remember the exact translation, but it pretty much just translates out to, Mary, I need you, or something like that. Again, I'm probably getting that a little bit wrong, but, again, that's pretty much the gist of what the message is saying, and, as such, well, yeah, James needs Mary to live, and he cannot. But we don't have time to talk about that now, because now we gotta talk about the Letta Wrench. And, this Letta hospital director guy apparently knows James, so it's probably just a machination of the town, akin to Ernest Baldwin. Jesus Christ, I was getting my wires crossed. And again, ooh, look, religious symbolism. Again, proving that the old gods haven't left this place. And you know what, I might as well fucking use this space to rant, because, like, I mean, for as many people like to badger Silent Hill 2 as, like, this emotional cornerstone of just being, like, sad guy in a ghost town, like, I mean, a lot of what people tend to forget about Silent Hill 2 is that, again, it is still firmly wrapped in a lot of its occultic and religious beliefs. Like, I mean, it's not the forefront of the game like it is in games like Silent Hill 1, 2, and, Homecoming and stuff, but again, it is still pretty much at the precipice weaved all throughout the town's history and culture, and again, it really does make Silent Hill, especially Silent Hill 2, a very unique entity in and of itself compared to most other horror games that would attempt a story like this. Like, I mean, there's preceding context, but again, it's also got a rich history, and again, a lot of interesting things about itself with its own mythology weaved throughout, so again, like, because of that context established before, and what they built in Silent Hill 2, again, it makes this game a little something extra, which, again, at the risk of being cynical, is what I think a lot of Silent Hill imitators that desperately want to pick up the mantle tend to forget. Like, I mean, they don't really put that sort of attention to detail in terms of world building, and it ends up becoming, well, just kind of generic, really. And again, that might be a little bit unfair, especially since Silent Hill had several games to build up its history and mythology, whereas some games only get one, if that, depending on how successful they are, but I don't know. World building does really pay off in aspects like this, and even in the case of, you know, adding the whole religious cult aspect, I don't know. It just provides a nice bit of background that, again, goes a long way, and that's pretty much all I'm going to say on the matter. Also another bit of trivia, actually, in regards to the monsters. I believe it was Masahiro Ito who stated that he kind of regrets designing so many monsters for the game. Oh yeah, this is the message that you can find pretty much before. You meant to find this earlier on, but now it's pretty much useless since you... Actually, yeah, I'd say we're pretty much half done with the game by now, so yeah, too little too late really. But hey, you can read the message and bada bing, you do the thing. But anyway, yeah, Masahiro Ito kind of regretted making so many monsters for the game because I think it was either he or Hiroyuki Iwaku felt that only like 4 or 5 monsters would have done compared to what we have here. And again, I'm guessing in terms of symbolism, it probably would have been the sexy nurses, because go fucking figure. The lying figures, I guess possibly the mannequins, and that's about it. Because, I mean, the rest of the monsters are usually just there for, well, I guess enemy variety / designing boss fights, really. And I mean, I can see his point in some aspects, especially given how tacitly they throw them around the town, but... I mean, all that aside, it is nice to have some enemy variety, and again, it is half compared to Silent Hill 1, because I mean, in Silent Hill 1, not counting the upgraded variety, I mean, we had, you know, rompers, air screamers, we had bugs, nurses, doctors, and even more actually, if you're going to consider a lot of the cut enemies from Silent Hill 1 that were dug up around 2017, so... Yeah, Silent Hill 1 had a lot of monsters, whereas Silent Hill 2 halved that, and, well, it made it a little bit more symbolism-focused. But again, I suppose when it comes to Silent Hill 1, I'll probably tackle that at a later date, because I was young when I did that commentary, and now I'm slightly older, and wiser, and insanier! But in any case, again, I'm not really sure what the game counts this as. Like, I mean, the town is in darkness, but it isn't technically an otherworld segment in the traditional sense. Like, I mean, some pathways are open, like, you know, the little area that we saw blocked off before with the whole, you know, the door that wakes in darkness or whatever. Like, I mean, you can open that, but... Like, I mean, would you really count this as an otherworld segment? It's just the same town, but in the dark. Like, I mean... I'm pretty sure you can still go off into Heaven's Night, I believe. You can still go back into Pete's Bolorama, so really, nothing changes. So, heck, whatever. Actually, well, I mean, if they were gonna make this an Otherworld segment, I think an interesting thing to do would have been to make, like, some of the scratch surfaces on some of the peripheral material, like the earlier one about the executioners in Blood Lake and the, you know, Patrick Chester kind of thing, or Saint Jennifer. You know, have that sort of text readable in the other world. I don't know, it probably would have been a nice way to fill in the blanks, and especially give a bit more detailed history into the town, because, I mean, you can pretty much easily interpret it if you know how to fill in the blanks and play a game of Mad Libs, but, I don't know. I suppose maybe it was just, a foresight, although then again, I don't know if there might be something like playthrough specific, like complete the game like a set amount of times and then you can read it. I don't know. But in any case, now we have, well, the Letta Wrench, or at least the box that we need the wrench from the letter that we got. Maybe inside this thing we'll find a good pasta dish that'll help us out here. Well, probably not really. I mean, we could use that wrench as a weapon. If it works well enough for Ratchet, then it should work well enough for James. And I mean, considering Silent Hill Downpour, we can use it as a weapon, and it is one of the better ones since it doesn't break, so, what the fuck? I have no idea what the fuck I said that like that, but anyway, there's nothing left. There ain't no Loretta Lunch or Letta Wrench. What a ripoff. James wants his Italian food, you know? But yeah, if there are any spare health drinks or ammunition you can pick up, make sure you do so now, because you won't have another chance, because, yeah, from this point forward, it's pretty much a linear adventure. Like, I mean, after this section, you're pretty much going to be going from, you know, primary dungeon/primary area to another dungeon/primary area to another area to, well, pretty much, we're pretty much just zipping from level to level at this point, so, at this point, enjoy the freedom while you can, because, yeah, the halfway point is over, and now, the mystery just gets deeper, and deeper, and deeper. You're at here. And this is also the part where, you can actually have some mannequins just catapult themselves over the fence to try and attack you. Again, I'm pretty sure it's not quite as obvious here, since, you know, it is shrouded by darkness, but I don't know, it does seem kind of odd that they would have that they would have done that, because, like, I mean, it is obvious to see in, you know, if you go up around this area during the daytime, so, I don't know, weird programming quirk things. In any case, we're finally at the Historical Society, so let's brush up on some history. And there are actually a few Easter eggs that you can spot here, if you feel so inclined. I believe, well, no, not that, although that is a pretty big hint as to something to come, but again, you're going to be seeing a lot of photographs in the Toluca prison, which again, you can get some background information on. You can get to take a, well, I mean, you can pretty much take a look at the, Wilt's coal mine, which is meant to be Silent Hill's one mining facility, and no matter what Christoph Gans tells you, there is not a coal fire that caused Silent Hill, Jesus Christ, and, yeah. Whatever. And of course, we get to take a look at this big motherfucker. And I believe that very hanging body was used in Silent Hill 4, and, it's him, Pyramid Head, the thing that got James inspired. Again, it is pretty much an artistic interpretation of Pyramid Head, which only James can see, but, yeah, you will actually get to see the legitimate town executioners if you, feel so inclined a little bit later on, so, stay tuned. Or I might show it off in the video if I forget. And here's also a place we can get another, again, the Obsidian Goblet for the Rebirth ending. Again, you can pretty much take a look at the hospital director. This is where you get the information about Blockhaven Hospital being the influenza place thing-ish. And I believe you can actually also see a photograph of Team Silent if you look around a little bit. Again, I'm kind of saddened that we don't get any Silent Hill 1 references with any of the pictures, but whatever. And of course, we have the most fondly remembered part of Silent Hill 2, the Stairway to Hell. It is what it is, really. Make any joke about, I don't know, Silent Hill Downpour with its repeating stairway, the Super Mario 64 thing, the foghorn that goes brrrr. I mean, it is what it is, it's basic symbolism 101. Maybe we should turn this into a fucking, like, YouTube video. It's like, wow, Silent Hill symbolism is so deep, dude! I've no idea what the fuck I did it that way. Anyway, I'm Solidus-Skully, keeping new metal, and next time on Silent Hill 2, well, hopefully I'll avoid doing more dude impressions. Catch you next time. Bye-bye.